This episode was so jam-packed and there is so much to talk about. We got some good matches, yes. We got some fantastic promos, yes. We got some fun moments, yes. But the main thing was the news that came out during this episode. So first of all, Sol Ruka's injured and she has no choice but to relinquish her North American Championship, which is crazy. And then we also got a lot of matches confirmed for Halloween Havoc, some surprise appearances. We even got to see Mr. Iguana on this show with La Porca, which was fun, which was amazing. So that was cool. There's so much to talk about. On this episode of NXT, it was so jam-packed. Not action-packed. There was fun matches, but it was just the news, the promos, everything that was said, everything that happened, everything that got confirmed, everything that got denied, per se. It was so fun. Oh my God, it was so action-packed. It was so jam-packed. There was so much, and there's so much for us to talk about, to debate on. So we're not even going to waste too much time on the intro or anything like that. We're just going to jump right into it. We're going to talk about all of it, the promos, the matches for Halloween Havoc, the fun stuff that was announced, the new changes, and everything that's going down. So yeah, let's just jump right into the video. But before all that, let's slow it down. The quote of the day, as always. Quote of the day: life's not about having it all together. It's about learning to laugh when it all falls apart. Dusting off your dignity and realizing God never asked for perfection, just progress. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. That is your quote of the day. Now let's get right into this video. So to kick off this episode of NXT, we started off with a in-ring promo from The Calling, but mainly Tatum Paxley and just Izzy Dame. The other two were there for bodyguard, security guard purposes, I guess, but it was mainly from Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley. So we started off with the fans, the crowd, the audience, everybody chanting, "You deserve it." They were chanting "You deserve it" for Tatum Paxley because she is the new #1 contender, and they were so happy for her. And Tatum Paxley was ecstatic. She was over the moon and she was just celebrating. She's like, after 4 long years, I finally did it, and I'm gonna be on a PLE. I'm getting another shot. I'm getting a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. And it was so fun. You could see her really enjoying the moment, drinking it in, how special it was for her, how much it meant to her. And it was just a cool sight to see. But let's get into the promo, though. So Tatum Paxley started off saying, "I did it!" She said, "I outlasted 19 other women, and finally, I got a shot back at the NXT Women's Championship. After 4 long years, you all of you, the fans, the audience, the crowd, everybody at home, you all have been by my side during these 4 long years. And I'm now on my way to my first ever PLE. And I will become the new NXT Women's Champion." And after she said this, Fatal Influence ended up coming out to interrupt her and disrupt her. And JC Jane went on to tell Tatum Paxley that Paxley does not stand a chance at Halloween Havoc, and everybody knows it. "I started off as the most beatable champion in history, and I've proven that when it matters most, I can't be beaten. I can't be defeated. And newsflash, you creepy little weirdo, you're not special. You're nothing special. And as a matter of fact, you should have just let Izzy Dame win that battle royal." And Tatum Paxley heard this and she responded saying, "A creepy little weirdo? I've worked my way to the top. And JC Jane, unlike you, I kept getting better. And at Halloween Havoc, you could bet your butt that I'm walking out as women's champion." And after that, both of these women, and Izzy Dame included, exchanged some more fighting words amongst them. And then it was announced that later on in the show, we're going to get a tag team match where it will be Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame versus JC Jane and Lainey Reed of Fatal Influence, which is cool. And we even got a little brawl between them, and Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley were the ones to stand tall at the start of the show, and that was that. After this, we immediately kicked off into our first match of the night, and it was Stax Lorenzo versus Leon Slater, and it was a TNA X Division Championship match. And this was the second time ever where the TNA X Division Championship was being defended on NXT, so it was kind of a special moment. It was kind of a cool moment. And this match, I will be honest with you, I honestly did not think it was going to be as good as it was, especially on Lorenzo's end, because, you know, Lorenzo is not like a high-flying type of move person. He's more so grounded, heavy-hitting moves, sure, that and that. But he really worked well with Leon Slater. They both really did their thing, and they made this match special. They made this match fun. This was a unserious, serious match, if that makes any sense. It was just fun. Like, everybody in this match was having fun, especially the young OG Javon Evans on the outside, ringside. This man was just having fun. He got on commentary, he was commenting, he was dancing, and everybody was dancing too. Even Leon Slater mid-match was hitting some emotes. They were hitting some Jeff Hardy emotes, and you got Mr. Riz himself, the young OG Javon Evans, even picking up Stax Lorenzo's, I think, girlfriend in story. Maybe in real life, I don't know. But picking her up as well. I'm like, what are we doing? This was a wrestling match, sir. Calm it down. And we even saw all that. So it was just a fun, serious, unserious match, like I said. But the match itself, though, we have to talk about that. The match itself was pretty enjoyable. And I've said this once and I'll say it again. This man, Leon Slater, is incredible in the ring. His moveset, his high-flying moves are damn near unmatched when it comes to in-ring work. This man is so entertaining. I don't know how he flies around the ring, Just like Javon Evans, I'm just always in shock and in awe when I see these two in the ring. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how are you even doing this? Because I would throw my back out just doing a super kick. And if you're flying over the turnbuckles, hitting a moonsault, 360, 450 splash flip onto someone else, I'm like, Jesus Christ. But this man, like I said, unmatched in the ring. But anyhow, though, for the match itself, at the end of the match, Leon Slater ended up hitting a off the top rope swanton 450 splash on Stax Lorenzo for the win, and he is and still is and retained his X Division championship. So that was that. And after the match, we got a little in-ring promo from both Leon Slater and the young OG Javon Evans saying, we've faced off each other, we've stood across the ring from each other, fought each other. Now how about we do it as a team? What do you think about that? And they're like, you know what, I'm down for it. And we even got a surprise appearance where it was La Porca and Mr. Iguana along with La Yesca coming out, and they cut a promo saying, what, you want competition at Halloween Havoc? I taught Tave already, and it's set up. It's going to be La Porca, Mr. Iguana versus Leon Slater and Javon Evans at Halloween Havoc. And I'm like, this is going to be an absolute treat. Okay, this is going to be an absolute treat, and I can't wait for it. Halloween Havoc is shaping up to be an absolute banger with the match cards. Oh my god, the matches we're getting, absolute banger after banger after banger. Jesus Christ. But anyhow, after this, we got onto our second match of the night, and it was a men's speed championship tournament round 1 match. And it was Jasper Troy versus Zachary Wentz from TNA. And the rules of the speed championship tournament match, once again, are you have 3 minutes to beat your opponent, and you have to beat the opponent within the 3-minute time limit. But anyhow, though, ironically enough, this was a really quick match, believe it or not. And Zachary Wentz got a good bit of offense in there. He got offense in there for a good solid minute. He was lighting up Jasper Troy. But just as quickly as it started, it ended even quicker because Jasper Troy he flicked on that switch in his mind, and I don't know what happened. He absolutely brutalized and dominated Wentz with two moves, and he put that man away. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was mean. And Jasper Troy ended up beating and defeating Zachary Wentz with 56 seconds left on the clock. So it only took 2 minutes. And mind you, I said that man, Troy, was getting absolutely smacked around for a solid 1 minute of it. Like, doing the math. Like, come on, Jesus, this man he's too mean with it. He's too mean with it. But anyhow, that was that match, and Jasper Troy is advancing in the tournament. And after this, we got a little cool Dark State and the Hardy Boys video package promo, and this was really cool, especially from the Hardy Boys. So we started off with the video package promo with Dark State basically saying that when Dark State strikes, nobody's safe. Everyone's on notice, so watch out. We're coming for it all. And then after that, we got the Hardy Boys responding with their own video package. And the Hardy Boys basically said that, Dark State, we expected nothing less from you. We expected nothing less than a sneak attack. We knew it was coming. We knew what you were planning. We expected nothing less. Dark State thought they broke the Hardy Boys, but broken is where the Hardy Boys shine best. They have awoken the Broken Hardys. And at Halloween Havoc, they will face off against the Broken Hardys in a Broken Rules match. And we got the reappearance of the Broken Hardys, Mr. Delete, and a new Broken Jeff Hardy as well. So the Broken Hardy Boys are showing up to Halloween Havoc to take on Dark State in a Broken Rules match. And I'm like, what? And the video package was so clean, so cool from the Hardy Boys. Like, it was like, what can I compare it to? Like a old rest in peace to the legend, the man, the legend himself, Bray Wyatt, but like it was like an old Wyatt compound type of video package promo, like in the woods, in the water, like somewhere eerie. That was the vibe of it. It was so cool. But that was that though. After this, we got another in-ring promo, and this time it was from Zaruka, aka Sol Ruka and Zarya. And it was basically Sol Ruka announcing that during her match on SmackDown this past week versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, she ended up injuring her leg, and she doesn't know when she'll be back. She doesn't know when she'll be able to compete. She's not medically cleared to compete, nothing like that, and she doesn't know how long she'll be out for. So she has no other choice but to relinquish the North American Championship. She thanks the fans for all their support and says it's nobody's fault. Things like that happen, and you just gotta thug it out. And that was that. And after that, we got Blake Monroe interrupting her, saying that you might as well just hand me the North American Championship now, because I was the #1 contender. contender anyway. So if you're going to be out and you need somebody to hold your spot, you need somebody to hold this championship, you know? She was basically saying, you might as well just give me the championship now because I was the number one contender. So I don't know all this sulking you're doing. Get on with it. If you're leaving, leave and give me the championship. And that's basically what she was saying. And Zarya was, she was disgusted by those comments. Zarya was like, Blake, this is NXT. We don't get things handed out over here. We earn it. I don't know what you're talking about. Some handed to me. It's not going down like that. If you want this North American Championship, you're going to have to earn it. And then Zarya announced that instead of Soruka fully relinquishing the championship, she will be defending Soruka's honor and she will be defending the North American Championship in place of Soruka. So she'll be defending both the honor of the North American Championship and Soruka. And then the GM Ava was like, as a matter of fact, I'm not opposed to this idea actually. And as long as Soruka's fine with it, it's going to happen. And Soruka said she's fine with it. It's going to happen. So Zarya will be facing off against Blake Monroe at Halloween Havoc for the North American Championship. Anyhow, after this, we got on to our third match of the night, and it was Axiom versus Sean Legacy from Evolve. And this was another Speed Championship tournament match, and it was another first round match once again. And this, unironically enough, like I said the first time around, this was a quick match. Both stars did as much as they could within the time limit they were given and the short time frame they had. So that was that. We saw a few cool spots and a few cool moments, but with that being said, at the end of the match, Axiom was able to hit an off the top rope Spanish fly on Sean Legacy for the win with 2 seconds left on the clock. And that was probably the lowest amount of time I've ever seen on the clock. 2 seconds. I was like, Jesus Christ, you're not playing it safe, huh? Threading the needle out here. But that was that. And Axiom advances. And next week, he will be facing off against Jasper Troy. After that match, we got another video package promo. And this time around, it was from All Ego Ethan Page, basically just disrespecting El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Ethan Page came on screen saying, I've done my research on you, and you've risked your career, your life defending the honor of your mask. But at Halloween Havoc, we're fighting for something even greater, something even better. We're fighting for my North American Championship. You idolize your father. In his prime, he couldn't touch me, and neither can you. And he basically said, at Halloween Havoc, it's on. Your father couldn't touch me in his prime, and neither can you. And that was basically that. And I'm like, okay, those were definitely fighting words. And I'm like, okay, I'm here for all the animosity. I'm here for all the heat. I'm here for all the drama. Talk your stuff as long as you can back it up. But that was that. After this, we got on to our fourth match of the night. And it was Hank and Tank versus the returning OTM, aka the group known as Out the Mud. And these boys wasted absolutely no time. The bell didn't even ring yet and they started throwing hands. These men started fighting way before the match even started. They just started throwing hands, feet, and everything in between. And let me just say, OTM was extremely dominant in this match. When the bell finally rung and the match finally started, they absolutely bullied and dominated and tag team handled Hank and Tank. This was a one-sided affair. Like, it wasn't 50-50 by any means. I don't even want to say it was 70-30 because it wasn't even that. OTM showed up and wrecked everyone. And they ended up beating Hank and Tank with relative ease, and they ended up hitting the tag team finisher on Hank and Tank for the win. And let me just say, OTM looked very impressive. They looked mean. They looked aggressive. They looked like they weren't here for any jokes. They were here on strictly business, okay? And after the match ended, they even attacked Hank and Tank and put them through the announcer's table, which was insane. So that was that. They just have a mean streak, and they showed that. After that, though, we finally got to not our main event, but it was a match before our main event segment. So the match we got to was our final match of the night, and it was Fatal Influence versus The Calling. And this was honestly another very little fun match. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was still enjoyable nonetheless. I did like this match. I enjoyed it. The crowd was really here for it. They were chanting for it. They were really hyped. They liked every star involved, as a matter of fact. They were chanting for Paxley. They were chanting for Izzy Dame. They were even chanting for Fatal Influence, which was crazy. So the crowd was just here for it. They were just enjoying it for what it was, and I did the same thing. I enjoyed it for what it was too. We saw a few cool spots and sequences. We saw a lot of cool moments. So that was that. It was really fun from both teams. Both teams showed up. They showed out. They did their thing. It was a really fun match. But anyhow, though, at the end of the match, due to interference from Fallon Henley of the Fatal Influence was able to weasel their way out of the match, and they were able to pick up the win over Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame. And after the match, they even attacked Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame, and Tatum Paxley was able to actually defend herself and come out on top, and she ended up beating a 3-on-1 attack. So that was crazy. She defended herself, left everyone else laid out, and then she held up the NXT Women's Championship, basically symbolizing that this is coming home with me at Halloween Havoc, okay? Get a good sight of this. Take a picture if you need to. It'll last longer because I'm coming home with this. And that was basically what she was telling the crowd. That's what she was telling the audience. But after that, we finally got to our main event segment. Our main event portion of the night, and it was a contract signing between the Revolution and Ricky Saints. And whoop that trick, whoop that trick, oh yeah, whoop that trick, I like it. Trick Williams, and it was their contract signing for Halloween Havoc. So we started off with Trick Williams cutting his little promo, and he basically said, Ricky, you're just mad because even though you're champion, I'm still the man around here. I'm still the main event. And that's why I walked out on you at Showdown, to show you and everybody that there's only one man who could shoulder NXT, one man that could carry NXT, and it's Trick Willie. And don't trip, I'm not doing this because I love NXT or even TNA. I'm just doing this for the only man I care about, Trick Williams. And I'm going to become a 3 times NXT champion for Trick Williams. And that's basically what Trick Williams said. He only cares about himself, and he's only doing this for himself. He's not doing this for TNA. He's not doing this for NXT. He's doing this for Trick Williams. Trick Williams is doing this for Trick Williams. And I'm like, fair. And then Ricky Saints ended up responding saying, Trick Williams, the problem with you is that you had this championship, but then you ended up losing the plot. You lost yourself. You thought you were too big for this brand. You thought you were too big for these people, too big for the championship. You lost your mind a long time ago, Trick Williams, and you lost the plot a long time ago. And Trick Williams ended up responding saying, look at me, Saints. Do I look like I belong in the Indies? I look good. I look like Hollywood. So hell no, I don't belong in the Indies. But you're just cosplaying champion. You're just a Trick Williams stunt double. And Ricky Saints heard that. He was like, okay, enough of this disrespect. We're doing kid stuff now. We're gonna kick into the next gear. We're getting serious with it. We're throwing shots out here because I was just playing. This was play till you brought that up. And Ricky Saints absolutely tore into Trick Williams. Saints went on to say, don't talk to me about the Indies. You walked in here hoping you'd make it. I had to grind. The stuff I've been through would make you fold like the shirt you're wearing. I will never be your replacement. I am the blueprint. You're trying to be like me, Trick Williams. I'm smoother. I'm silkier. And this is my house and I'm locked in. Come this Saturday, you're locked out because I'm absolute and I'm Ricky Saints. And he started popping off and talking his stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. This was so hype. He just started talking his mess and talking his stuff. And I was all here for it. But after those fighting words were said and after those fighting words were thrown, we got into a big brawl from these two. And Trick Williams threw the first sucker punch. Ricky Saints defended himself and he put Trick Williams through a table and left Trick Williams laid out. And he was holding up the NXT Men's Championship saying, this isn't going anywhere. It's staying right here. And that was that. And that's how your show ended, with a final shot of Trick Williams being laid out and Ricky Saints just holding up the championship. And that was that. And that was your whole show. And overall, this week of NXT, I would rate it a solid 7 out of 10. Like I said, there was so much to talk about, so much to see, so much to listen to. So it was fun. It was just jam-packed. Like I said, so much happened in such a short little amount of time. I was like, Jesus Christ, so many promos, the video packages, the segments, the matches, everything was just fun to me. And like I said, I would rate it a solid 7 out of 10. I did enjoy this week's episode of NXT and even the speed tournament matches. So not much to say, not much to complain about. Anyhow, though, that was my breakdown and my review of NXT this week. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for hearing me out. And thank you for being here. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to. And like, comment, and subscribe if you choose to. As always, it's been a pleasure. I'm out.